Welcome back to the Donghua family channel. Before we get into the main content, for those who felt that episodes 163 to 164 were drawn out and padded for time, I want to reaffirm one thing. Immortal cultivation is first and foremost the cultivation of the heart and mind. When writing the original novel, perhaps because he was still young, author Wang Ge was only in his early 30s at the time, and under the pressure of chapter releases, he couldn't fully and deeply explore this aspect of mental cultivation. This led many readers to feel that a record of a mortal's journey to immortality was quite dry, and that Han Li was an overly detached character. However, for those who have read the story carefully enough, long enough, and have reflected on it deeply enough, it's clear that Han Li was never unfeeling. He always carried a lingering sorrow and deep longing for his family, an endless regret for not being able to be by his parents' side to fulfill his filial duties. Recognizing this, the animation production team has been very subtle, adding many valuable details that highlight the growth of Han Li's mental state. Therefore, these two episodes are not slow at all. Rather, they are a necessary pause for the character and for us, the audience, to look back and to feel. Now, let's dive deep into the analysis. In his return after nearly 200 years, what did Han Li truly see, and what did he truly think? 1. Seeing a strange homeland, thinking of the bygone home. Anyone who returns home after years away yearns to see familiar sights again, the street corners, the roads etched deep into their memories. But Han Li, upon setting foot on his ancestral land, had to face a harsh reality. The stars have shifted and things have changed. The home in his memories was no longer the home before him. Nearly 2 centuries is enough time to turn seas into mulberry fields, to make the most familiar things become completely foreign. He could only stand amidst this strange reality and reminisce. The poignant scene in episode 163, when Han Li encounters a family of 4, is the starting point for this stream of thought. On the surface, it's a happy family, but if you look closely, you'll notice a subtle contradiction. The parents are quite well dressed, able to afford to take their children to a festival and buy them toys, yet the 2 children are wearing coarse, heavily patched clothes. Given the love their parents showed, this would be highly unlikely. The only logical explanation is this. Han Li was looking at them with the eyes of the present, but perceiving them with the mind of the past. The image of those 2 poor but happy children was a recreation, a projection of the image of himself and his little sister from long ago. How heartbreaking it is to return to your homeland and find nothing familiar, to the point where you have to look at strangers to imagine what your own family looked like. 2. Seeing cold memorial tablets, thinking of helpless pain. This sense of sorrow is pushed to its peak when Han Li steps into the Han family's ancestral hall. What he sees is not his father's smile, his mother's gaze, or his little sister's playful affection. What he sees are only cold, soulless memorial tablets. His most beloved family members were gone forever, and the only things left to prove their existence were these wooden plaques with their names carved on them. I'm back, but what now? Han Li's choked voice is filled with so much pain, helplessness, and self-blame. He had returned, but the people he wanted to see were no longer there. This psychological knot, if not untied, could very well become an inner demon, obstructing Han Li's cultivation path in the future. 3. Seeing outstanding descendants, thinking of the brotherhood of the past. Fortunately, or perhaps more accurately, as the saying goes, good deeds bring good fortune. The appearance of Han Rui and Li Feng becomes the turning point that loosens the knot in Han Li's heart. The similarities between this pair of descendants and the duo of Han Li and Li Feiyu are not coincidental. They are a deliberate and meaningful arrangement by the scriptwriters. In terms of personality, they maintain the same dynamic. One is calm, resourceful, and strategic, Han Rui, while the other is hot-tempered, fierce, and skilled in combat, Li Feng. In terms of bond, despite their different statuses, they comfortably address each other as brothers, without any formality. It's just like in the old days, when Han Li was called the Fire Devil by others in the 7 Mysteries sect, but in Li Feiyu's eyes, he was always Brother Han, whom he would protect with his life. In terms of appearance and synergy, their physique and facial features bear a strong resemblance to their ancestors, and their coordination in battle is incredibly seamless. Upon seeing Han Rui and Li Feng, Han Li no longer needs to force his imagination. He can clearly see the image of himself and his sworn brother from all those years ago. This is the first familiar thing he has found, a living testament that the bloodlines of their 2 families have continued and are thriving. A tear falls from Han Li's eye when he recognizes the family heirloom. Tears from a man, especially a cultivator with a mental state as solid as a rock, are incredibly rare. That tear was not just for sorrow, but also for release. The invisible burden of distance, of the pain of finding no trace of the past, was suddenly lifted. The psychological knot had been greatly loosened. For seeing the cause he sowed, thinking of the effect fulfilled. However, the knot is only truly and completely untied when Han Rui recounts the story of the Han clan's origins today. Han Li had always carried the heavy burden of thinking that he had neglected his family for the sake of cultivation, that he couldn't fulfill his filial duties or take care of his sister. But the truth was entirely different. We all know that Han Li's family was very poor when he left. So where did the money and resources come from for his parents and sister to later provide relief for the entire clan? It was all thanks to Han Li. While he was at the Seven Mysteries sect, he continuously sent money home. The very cause, Nan, that he sowed not only lifted his own family out of poverty and helped his sister secure a fulfilling marriage, but it also blessed the entire Han clan during years of famine. From that cause came the effect, qua the subsequent rise of the Han family. Because of this merit, Han Li's direct family branch was honored by the entire clan as the main branch, to be worshipped with reverence in the ancestral hall. At this moment, Han Li attained true clarity. Even though he had traveled thousands of miles away, even though he could not personally care for his loved ones, he had always fulfilled his duty as a son, a brother, and a member of his clan. It's just like so many people in the real world who have to travel far from home to make a living, with the sole purpose of sending a little money back to care for their families. We cannot say they are not filial, nor can we say they are unfeeling towards their siblings. They are simply doing their best within their capabilities and circumstances. The clearest evidence of this epiphany is the image of the two paintings. The first painting shows Han Li standing alone, symbolizing his initial belief that he was walking the path to immortality alone, leaving his family behind. But once he understood everything, he painted his family into the picture. His image in the painting becomes clear, harmonious. The last trace of his inner conflict completely vanished. He realized he had never been alone. His path to immortality and his family's happiness had always been intertwined. The Han Li of the present, with a healed mental state, is now truly ready to continue walking the thorny path of cultivation that lies ahead. And so, Han Li's journey home has come to a fulfilling conclusion. It was not just a return to his roots, but also a profound healing of his heart and mind. Do you feel the same way I do? What a tale from these past 2 episodes truly touched your heart? Please leave a comment below so we can all share our thoughts. Don't forget to support Donghua family with a like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on upcoming in-depth analyses. Goodbye, and see you next time.